Hey guys, it's Boomer. Congratulations, 500 likes on our last video. So we all did it, everyone. Give yourself a high five, pat on the back. Yeah. You guys asked for 2 different types of jobs videos, so we're giving them to you. This is part 1. This is finding an English teaching job in Japan. Part 2 is going to be finding a non-English teaching job as a non-native Japanese speaker. I'm actually in the middle of finding a job right now, so part 2 is going to be a minute. So we're going to drop part 1. We're going to give you part 1 right now, so you guys can have a little bit of a teaser until part 2, right? And Lily's decided to eat lunch now. Lily, we're filming, recording. I am a part-time English teacher and a full-time language, and I go to language school, Japanese language school full-time. My job does not sponsor my visa. It's important, right? If you need a visa, if you are not currently in Japan and you don't have a visa, you want to teach English and you want to get here. The biggest companies are the JET program, Interact, GABA, Nova, and Aeon Eikaiwa schools. They will sponsor visas for people who are not currently in Japan. The rest of this video is going to be focused on finding English teaching jobs for people who are already in Japan and already have visas, whether it be student visa or spouse visa or some other type of visa that allows you to work. And a bonus tip on how those part-time jobs may actually make you more money. Let's get right into it. First of all, this is about English teaching, but in my quest to find a job previously and now, I've noticed that English teaching is not the only language that is wanted in Japan. There are also jobs for other languages. So, cut it out. Stop whiling out. No. This is my time.
You don't listen. Get down.
Churlish. English teaching jobs are not the only language that's in demand in Japan. I don't want to say any specifics because it really just depends on what you can find. However, there is demand for teaching other languages besides English in Japan. English is, however, the predominant one. So just keep your eyes out if you're looking for jobs, you're multilingual, keep your eyes out for that. Let's get into the nitty gritty, right? Which pays more? Pay, money, salary, those dollars, right? So if you're going to get a visa and only work for one school or company, you are going to get paid around somewhere between $2,200 and $3,000 a month, USD a month, about, depending on the company and your experience level. However, if you want to do this long-term, if you want to teach English long-term in Japan or even abroad, getting certified as English as a second language teacher, an ESL certification, a TOEFL or TOEIC teaching certification, these are definitely going to make you more valuable and make you more employable and definitely get you more money in the long run, right? You could also consider opening your own school. That's a quick way to increase your salary, right? You can also work in private schools like cram schools, or in sort of a management position at a more formal private school. I've heard a lot of people say there's no advancement, right? There's no chances to advance. You're always just going to be an English teacher, right? If you are going to stay in the alt system, there is probably going to be no opportunities for advancement. However, in cram schools and in private institutions, there will be opportunities for advancement. I can tell you from my own personal experience, like I said, I work at a cram school or juku right now. I was offered to basically run the school, which is a little bit of a promotion from just being a regular teacher and coming there every day, right? So there are opportunities, just not in the alt system. Look at that, you too. You too could run your own school one day. Let's talk about part-time, right? This is where you have to do a little bit of math. Don't worry, simple multiplication, not too bad. You can use your phone, use your phones for this one. Part-time is going to pay more hourly. The low-end salary for part-time jobs is going to be about 2,000 yen or about $20 an hour. Comparatively, if you were to think about a 40-hour work week, even though if you're a part-time student, you can only work 28 hours. However, if you were going to consider a 40-hour work week as working full-time, just the lower end of part-time would pay $3,200, which is more than the higher end of the full-time job, which I said earlier, which is around $3,000. So, and that's at the low end, right? So a lot of jobs will pay more than that, especially for native English speakers. If you're a native English speaker and you're making less than $2,000 a month, you need to get another job, honestly. You should be making much more. A lot of jobs are going to pay around 3,000 yen, upwards of 3,500 yen an hour, which is obviously going to be significantly more. The types of jobs where you're going to find this, this isn't all teaching, this isn't going to be cafe teaching, this is going to be juku or cram students. if you do business English training, or you can do private one-on-one tutoring for high school students. Those are the type of jobs that are going to pay upwards of 3,500 yen an hour, or about $35 an hour. A very popular and easy to get job is English conversation cafes. However, these jobs don't pay very much, maybe 2,000 at most, probably closer to 1,500 yen, which is pretty much what you can get from working at 7-Eleven. They're also not structured, and there's no lesson plan. It's just going to be you talking the whole time. Easy to get, but don't pay well, right? Quick pro tip from Loretta. If you are a student like she was, and if you want to teach, this is a good chance to build multiple part-time contracts. Get your jobs to write them for a year and self-sponsor your own visa when you switch. Our lawyer will explain on Loretta's channel very soon in an up-and-coming video. All right, how do you find these jobs, right? I'm going to save you some time and tell you what not to do, right? Common but not helpful websites were that a lot of people use. Dye Job. This is not a bad website, however, it is not good for part-time jobs. It is better for full-time jobs, and I also didn't find a lot of English-speaking jobs on this website. The second one is Gaijinpot. This is a very popular website, and I'm sure you will find it. They have lots of jobs, right? They do have a lot of English-teaching jobs. However, I can't remember ever getting a response from any job that I applied to on Gaijinpot. I'm guessing it's because it's so popular that there's oversaturation. Another popular way to teach English is to not go to a school at all and to do it via apps. I tried one called Flamingo, right? I didn't really like it. If you need a little extra money on the side, a couple extra mon a month, then maybe. But it's not really gonna be something that's gonna be sustainable long term, I don't think. I'm sure there's people who do it, but I don't think everyone can. If you are already in Japan and you have a visa, do not go to cafes or big companies like we mentioned previous, Interact, GABA, Nova, Aeon, Jet. Not that these are bad companies. There's nothing wrong with teaching at GABA or Nova or Aeon, but if you want to but they're not going to be paying the 3,500 or $35 an hour salary. I really feel that if you're already in Japan and you already have a visa, you can do a lot better money-wise, right? You can do a lot better salary-wise. The websites that I used were jobsinjapan.com and Craigslist Tokyo. Jobs in Japan is pretty straightforward. It's like Gaijinpot, but it seems like there's less traffic on it and it's not as saturated. Craigslist is Craigslist. It's the same as Craigslist everywhere. There's good things and there's bad things. Be careful. Like I said, if you see any English teaching job for less than 2,000 yen an hour, do not take it. It's not worth it, especially if you're a native speaker and you already have a visa. And be careful. Craigslist is, it's Craigslist. Be careful, be smart, be safe. Follow basic internet common sense rules if you're going to use Craigslist. And we have one more pro tip from Loretta. The pro tip from Loretta is Indeed. Indeed in Japan. If you speak Japanese at all, or if you're even good with Google Translate, you can just sort of translate the job content. Search the word eigo. If you can search eigo in Tokyo, you can also find bilingual jobs. Not just English teaching jobs, but other bilingual jobs as well that require or want native English speakers. Tip 2 from Loretta. If you're a study abroad student from a university back home, ask your department or senpai from your home country about their connections. They may have jobs available for you that are not going to be anywhere. Thank you, Loretta. By the way, this is Lily standing in for Loretta. Loretta is our cameraman today. Okay, so for resume, for English teaching jobs, Western style resumes or CVs are okay. If you have teaching experience, make sure that is on your resume and highlighted some way. Make sure that it's there and it's not at the very bottom where no one's going to read it. We will cover how to write a Japanese resume in our next job searching video about, finding jobs in Japan. But if you do want a Japanese resume, we can send you a link. Leave a comment and we will respond with a template link for you where you can download. So interviews, just before and during your interview. Wear a suit, right? Cut your hair, shave. I did shave for every interview. In case you guys are wondering, I know you see me all scruffy all the time, but when I was looking for jobs, and even last week when I had my first job interview in Japan for a non-English teaching job, I shaved. You'll look younger, and you don't want to give people an excuse to not hire you. Anything you can do to up your chances, right? Cut your hair, shave, wear a suit. For suits, you can wear any business appropriate suit. Blue, gray, black. The only real caveat in Japan is do not wear a black tie. Those are reserved for funerals. No black ties. So the suit does not have to be an Aoyama job searching suit. It could be an H&M suit, just like this one. Ideally, if you can bring a suit from your home country, you are not guaranteed to find a suit that will fit you in Japan. I know I definitely have problems with clothes in general. I haven't even tried suits, but I don't need to because I already have one. Ladies, this is a tip for you. Bring nude or skin color stockings in your size from your home country. It is not guaranteed that they will have your color or your skin color or your size in Japan.
If you are any shade of brown, bring stockings.
Yes, this kind of leads into our next point, but you will most likely have to take your shoes off for some interview. You do not want to be barefoot in a skirt, right? It's just going to be real awkward. As we mentioned previously, your shoes will come off. This is Japan. You take your shoes off before you go into offices. Wear business appropriate shoes, right? Black or brown, Oxford style shoes. However, do not tie your shoes super tight. Wear them a little loose so that you can slide them off easily. Before you get to the interview, at the very least be on time, but be early. Stop at the door, make sure your shoes are loose, bring a pen, bring a resume in a clear file. And bring a notebook for taking notes. And since you have all these things, make sure they're easily retrievable from your bag. You don't want to be ruffling through a bag to try and find it, right? Going back to the shoes, you don't want to be struggling to get your shoes off. Any sort of unnecessary ruffling, struggling, is just going to add to the nervousness and awkward tension that's already going to be there. It's an interview. You're going to be nervous, right? You don't need to add to it. You want to go in there with as little nerves as possible. You want to be able to go into the interview and sit down as smoothly as possible. You want to be checklist, shoes off, jacket off, pen out, resume out, smile, right? 5 seconds, right? You want to be able to do it as smoothly and as quickly as possible. If it's winter and you're wearing a winter jacket over your suit jacket, take your winter jacket off first. Take your winter jacket off and drape it over your arm before you go in the door so that you can enter as smoothly as possible. Here's what you want to avoid. Exhibit A.
はい、どうぞ。楽しいイングリッシュスクールのロレタと申します。どうぞ入ってください。どうぞスリッパを使ってください。じゃあこちらへどうぞ。こちらへどうぞ。
すみません、ごめんなさい。
コートですね。じゃあ私が使います。お願いします。じゃあどうぞこれで座っていただいて、じゃあレズメを持ってますか？
はい持っています。
アメリカ
のニューヨーク。
すごいですね。
美味しい
Our
ピザ。
head teacher, he's coming now.
Okay.
And if you could write down this number, it's in room number 300. Do you need a pen? Okay. Oh.
And here's what you want to do. Exhibit B. 失礼します。
Hello. Hi.
Hello. Yes, I'm Boomer. I'm here for an interview. I have an interview today.
Nice to meet you.
Oh,
Okay,
nice to meet you too.
じゃあこのスリッパを使ってください。どうぞ。スリッパを使ってください。どうぞ。私がお使いします。どうぞこちらへ。はい。こちら。
レズメ持ってきました。
いいですね。
どうぞ。
頂戴いたします。ありがとうございます。Okay, I'll take a copy. My name is Tanaka of Tanoshi English School. Thank you for coming
nice
today.
to meet you, Miss Tanaka.
Okay, so the head teacher will be in shortly. Please be comfortable. Thank you. This boy's getting a job.
So during your interview, right? Basic interview stuff. Smile. Be engaged in the interview. Be as active as you can. Always prepare at least one question. They always ask you at the end of the interview if you have any questions. You need to have one question. it makes it seem like you care. For teaching interviews specifically, there may be some sort of test. You might have to do a sample lesson with a class. You might have to make up a game. You may have to do an actual knowledge proficiency test on site, and they may or may not tell you that beforehand. So pro tip is to make up a game beforehand. Any game, doesn't matter. I don't know, Duck Duck Goose with English. Make something up, be creative, right? Have something ready to just pull out of your hat so it looks like, oh, I'm so smart, I can just make up a game like that, you know?
Like, I do this all the time.
I do this all the time. This is natural. I do this in my sleep. I dream about making up games. Same thing for a lesson outline. Make your own sample lesson outline so that if you have to teach or they ask you to make a sample lesson outline, you have a basic structure and all you have to do is put in the subject matter. It makes you look more competent and it just will make it easier and makes you look experienced. Last and final tips, smile. Make sure and have one question, right? These are important, right? Especially in Japan, smiling is important. People who smile get jobs. Everyone says that nico nico people get jobs, right? Especially if you're going to, you know, adult business schools, juku or cram schools for children. They pay to come to your school. The more fun you can make it, the better it's going to be for everyone, right? In general, and it leads to better retention. So, fun teacher, be a fun teacher, be up, you know, right? So that's why you need to smile. Okay, so we did it. Wrapping it up. Lily, you're okay. You want to come here? You want to wrap it up? Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up together, right? I just had my first non-English teaching job interview this week. So in our next video, we're going to be going over job hunting and interview teaching tips for non-English teaching jobs. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And especially if you have any tips or requests specifically for the non-English teaching, job hunting and interviewing techniques, let us know down below. Thanks for watching and see you guys there. Bye!